Okay, so before we get started, let me explain. I was starting to get really uncomfortable with my hair. I don't know the exact reasons why. It was just disturbing me so much. My nervous system, the feel, the texture, it was just really disturbing me on a visceral level. But I just started with this new barber, and I had already mentioned to him, based on the cut that he gave me, I was like, eventually I'm going to want to take it a little shorter. So we're going to work towards that. But what happened was I waited a week after the first cut to request a new appointment, because I kind of felt it. Like, even when he finished, when I was still in the chair, when he finished, I was like, I like it, but I'm letting you know now, I'm going to want it to be a little shorter. So we're going to work towards that. Okay. So we kind of see each other every 2 weeks. After the first week, I was already like, okay, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to be able to do this. I already know. But I didn't want to seem like a spaz because I was kind of new with this barber. So I didn't want to trip out on him so quickly. So I was like, let me just chill. Let me be patient. Let me just wait the full 2 weeks until our regular appointment. And then I'll go in and I'll let him take care of it. So I kind of just breathed through an entire week of really being uncomfortable with my hair, but waiting to see my barber at our regular time. So I call him up, typically I could call the day before or, a couple days before. I call him up to schedule my appointment, make sure some time is available for me. And he lets me know that he's going out of town, and he's going to be out of town for about 2 weeks. So yeah, honestly, that was halfway, or in the morning, not even halfway through my workday. That was a quarter of the way through my workday that I made the call to make the appointment, already fed up, really. I did this on my lunch break. I couldn't even wait until after work so that I would have all the time in the world to make sure I did a great job on my lunch break. I was like, this is it. This got to go. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. And so this is what happened. I kind of just felt it out, and I was like, I know the areas that are really bothering me. I really felt I just felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe with what I was feeling in these areas. And I just needed to feel my scalp so that I could breathe. That's the only way I could describe it. But I knew I didn't want to be completely bald again because, I have crashed out emotionally before, and I just feel the need to shave all my hair off. So I totally get it. The whole, I guess the iconic person that we know about that here in America is Britney Spears. They always want to talk about how she had a mental breakdown and shaved all her hair off. But I find that a lot of women go through this phase of just needing to kind of rebirth in that way. It's a very reclaiming of personal power through shedding identities and social standards, I think sometimes related to the female and hair and just all kinds of things. It's a lot. I think it's a lot of mental, emotional things wrapped up in our hair. And so one of the best ways to kind of let go of the weight of all of that is to let that hair go. So yeah, kind of unexpectedly, here we go again. So I had to take matters into my own hand this time. I am an Aries, and one thing about Aries is we don't do waiting very well. So the thought of kind of waiting 2 additional weeks to see my barber just sent me over the edge in that moment. I was like, okay, there's no way. I already know there's no way I can wait 2 weeks to get this done. So therefore, it needs to be done immediately. Thankfully, I waited until my lunch break, and I didn't just stop doing what I was doing in that exact moment and or do anything more drastic. But yeah, so waiting is not one of my strengths. I definitely operate on a now type of time signature. So the time became now to take care of this. So this is day 3. This is day 3 into my fasting and detox period. That's probably why I had the time on my lunch break, because I'm not worried about eating, cooking, shopping, preparing, or cooking any food or eating any food. So I have a little more time now to do other things. And I decided to use that time to shave my head. So I'll say one of our cousins asked in one of his musical tracks, do you have the power to let power go? And the question that has been heavy on my mind is, do you have the power to let pain go? Because honestly, for me, I find that it requires more power and strength to let pain go. And the truth is, I've witnessed so many people choose chronic suffering simply because it's more familiar and tolerable than the fear of the lesser known experiences of love and peace. It's so triggering for so many people to accept that they are responsible for their own pain, and freedom from that pain is simply a choice of letting it go and choosing a different story to tell. Some folks' whole identity is wrapped up in pains and sorrows. They literally don't have language for who they are without it. And I used to live in some of those environments. For me, finding my peace meant removing myself from those environments so I could begin to see myself for myself in my own story by my own choosing. Detoxing and giving your body, mind, spirit a whole reset. I almost said a soul reset, or a whole reset, however you want to look at it. It really is an inside job. And fasting is just one of the tools that I use in order to do that job. Not only does it support, like a lot of dumping of waste and toxins, it really allows focus and intention so that it can happen a little more rapidly. And I think that's what I like about it, just the holistic attention and focus placed on one aspect. And I do it in a variety of ways. So I guess that's part of my Aries nature as well. It's hard for me to focus. I said that Aries, we have great ideas and we're great about getting things started and getting things going. Like, for instance, here, I just kind of jumped into this with the first thought, really. And I would say I waited, I gave it more time and attention than I generally would. I generally would act immediately, like the first day or moment that I have the thought. But planning and preparation, not necessarily our strong point. So, I kind of jumped into this, or, one might say I kind of jumped off of something, but it was definitely a somewhat spontaneous decision. I don't know exactly where I'm going to go from here, especially with regards to my hair, but I definitely feel better in my body. It's not causing me the discomfort and just distraction that it was creating for my nervous system. So I definitely feel better in my body. I feel a little more free. I feel like I can breathe easier. So now I'm able to focus on some other aspects. So I know I said I was going to record some movement. I wanted to just kind of document my journey this detox period and record some movement every day. And I didn't know exactly what that would look like or how it will work, but now I'm starting to see it's not always about exercise or going to the gym. There's actions that I take every day that help support my reset, my detoxification and my realignment with my truth through the source of who I came into being and who that I am. So thank you for sharing this journey with me. I definitely welcome your comments and connecting with other souls on this journey, on this evolutionary journey. If you can vibe with what you see going on over here, definitely drop me a like or leave me a comment on the video. Help me out by subscribing to my channel. And I really thank you for watching. As I work to transition to more of a digital presence, I appreciate any level of involvement and support you can give me as I work towards making this happen. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for watching. Wishing you all success with all your endeavors, peace for your nervous system and your life existence, and alignment with the totality of love that is here for all of us to share in and enjoy. Blessings.